So I'm hoping this is going to be a short video. I know it's the second video of today, but I was wondering, I was thinking, I was pondering. I've been watching a lot of videos in regards to, especially the Canon overheating. And it's been in abundance all over the internet. You've seen it. It's out there. Everybody's talking about it. And the big reason that I've been curious about it is, of course, because I've already pre-ordered the R6. So I was like, oh my gosh, why did Canon release a camera that has got these overheating issues? So I ended up wondering if it was really just a Canon issue. I got something shaking over here. I ended up going online to look. If I come here and just do a Fuji X-T4 overheating, you can see that the X-T4 overheats. X-T4 overheating. Overheated. Overheating issues explained. An overheating fix, supposedly. So it overheats. I actually thought of this because I was watching a video today by Camera Conspiracies. You should go check his stuff out because he's somewhat entertaining, without question. And he actually set up his X-T4 to shoot in 4K 60p in his little room studio like I have. And it took about 16 minutes for it to overheat before it turned off. So I was like, we have a Fuji X-T4 that overheats. We have the Canon R5 and R6 that overheats. And if we come up here right now and we look at the Sony A7SIII overheating, we are starting to see some videos coming out showing that this camera, even though Sony was talking highly about it not overheating, has had some overheating concerns. Now, the one thing to be aware of, and I will throw this out there, so please don't go hammering the comments down below. You can if you want, that's cool, doesn't matter. I do know that a lot of these were pre-production models, so Sony does have 2 months to get this camera ready and have any of these possible overheating concerns ironed out. But my question now becomes, has the mirrorless camera body, has the body and the processors that these companies are putting in them to be able to process this level of footage, has it outgrown the camera body size? Can the camera body dissipate heat that this poor processor is gonna push out to be able to process that amount of data? And the big reason that I'm curious about this is we are seeing this, mostly these overheating concerns with 4K 60. And yes, I know that we can get 4K 60 on pretty much any smartphone out there, but these are 4K 60s running very low compression. A lot of these cameras now are running in 10-bit internal, and the file sizes are massive. They're really big files. So you've got 4K 60, 422, 10-bit, and the processors are just generating way too much heat to be able to process this in a body the size of a mirrorless that can't dissipate it. Now, I do know that Panasonic, let's look this up here, Panasonic SH1, I believe it is, was one of the only cameras that kind of gets away from this overheating issue because of the fact that they have an included fan inside it. Now, Blackmagic, for instance, has their 6K camera, which does all these 422, 444, I don't even know what codecs they do it in, 10-bit, but it has a fan, and I've even heard of that camera having overheating issues. So what do you guys think? Are we asking too much from this camera body size? Is the mirrorless body, which is where all this is happening, which is where we're seeing all this concern, which is where we're seeing all these overheating issues from Canon, from Sony, possibly, from Fuji, something that we can get away from? Are we at the limitation of these bodies? Is 4K 60 really the last of the usable frame rates before the camera just melts because of the processor? Do you think that some of the camera manufacturers, Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, whoever, will have to start looking at different processor styles? Look at computers, for instance. I use a MacBook Pro, running an i9. This thing is cooking hot almost all the time. The i9 processor is nuts hot. Processing any kind of information on this with video editing, especially 4K, makes this thing cook. You could cook an egg on this thing when it's running. Easily can get up 80, 90 degrees Celsius. But if you look at, let's say, the iPad or iPhone running an ARM processor, that thing can process those same kind of files with basically no heat. Not that I'm a guy that knows all this technical know-how about how things are built, but what do you think? Do you think that the camera processors have to be possibly redesigned for more efficiency and less heat production? Is that something you think we will see in future chips? Do you think the Digic 11 processor, whenever that decides to raise its head, will be a completely different beast? Will it run off something like ARM? I think that would be interesting. I'd love to see what they can do in their next processors, not necessarily to give us more in regards to like 4K 120 or 240, 12-bit, 14-bit, whatever, but be able to let these things bring their temperatures down so that they can run more efficiently, run longer off of a battery, and run cooler. I think that's where we need to go. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you there because I've been watching a lot of videos right now on so many brands that are new cameras that are really concerned about all these overheating issues. And if you are someone that does long run shoots, this can be a concern, especially when you're looking at some kind of new camera. All right, my friends, leave your comments down below. What do you think? Do you think the camera manufacturers have to start looking at different ways to process video? Maybe redesigning not the camera itself, but the processor? Curious. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you there. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave comments. Interested to hear what you think. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.